The ghost of Setagaya, he left his DNA, his fingerprints, and his clothes. He has never been found. Was the kind of winter night that makes Tokyo feel small and close. Cold, still, the streets of Setagaya emptied out by the holiday. Families were inside. Children were in bed. In 4 days, the city would ring in the new year with fireworks and paper lanterns and the clang of temple bells, and life would go on the way life always does. But on the night of December 30th, 2000, something was moving through one of those quiet streets. Something that would leave a wound in this city that has never healed. The Miyazawa family lived in a modest, 2-story home on a narrow residential lane. Mikio was 44, a soft-spoken man who worked at a video game company. His wife Yasuko was 41. Their daughter Niina was 8 years old. Their son Ray had just turned 6. By every account from everyone who knew them, they were an ordinary family, warm, unremarkable in the best possible way. The kind of family that exists quietly in the fabric of a neighborhood without anyone ever thinking twice about them. That night, someone entered their home through the garden. He moved without panic, without hesitation, the movement of a person who had already made his decision. What happened inside those walls in the hours that followed was so savage, so complete, that even the investigators who would dedicate years of their careers to this case struggled to speak about it plainly. By midnight, Mikio, Yasuko, Niina, and Ray were all dead. An entire family, erased in a single night. And then the killer didn't leave. This is the detail that has unsettled Japan for more than 2 decades. The detail that separates the Setagaya case from every other murder in the country's recent history. After killing 4 people, including 2 small children, the perpetrator remained inside the house. For hours, investigators believe he may have stayed through the night and well into the following day. He used the bathroom. He ate food from the refrigerator, leaving behind the half-consumed remains. He sat down at Mikio's computer and browsed the internet, scrolling through websites, leaving digital footprints that investigators would spend years trying to decode. Some of the sites he visited were Korean, some were American. He appeared comfortable online, at ease, in no rush to be anywhere else. He went through the wardrobe and tried on clothes from the family's belongings. He left his own clothing behind, a dark jacket, gloves, a stocking cap, each piece of which carried his DNA. When he finally walked out the door, he was wearing Mikio Miyazawa's shoes. He was not panicked. He was not fleeing. He was, by all evidence, completely at ease inside a home containing 4 people he had just killed. On January 6, 2001, a full week after the murders, Yasuko's brother came to check on the family. He had not heard from them. He knocked. There was no answer. He went inside. What he found ended him in ways that no one who loves him has ever fully been able to describe. The police were called. The investigation began. And it has never ended. The killer left behind more forensic evidence than almost any murderer in modern Japanese criminal history. His DNA was everywhere. Extracted from saliva on the food he had eaten, from skin cells on the clothing he had abandoned. Investigators had a complete, usable genetic profile within weeks of the discovery. They had his fingerprints, dozens of them, pressed clearly onto surfaces throughout the house. They had his footprints. They had strands of his hair. They had a physical description assembled from everything he touched. Male, estimated mid-30s at the time of the crime. Approximately 170 centimeters tall, blood type B. They had everything. A face with no name. A ghost made entirely of evidence. The Tokyo Metropolitan Police poured resources into the Setagaya case, unlike almost any other in the department's history. Over 180,000 people were questioned in the years that followed. Thousands of men submitted DNA samples voluntarily as investigators swept neighborhoods, workplaces, transit hubs. The Miyazawa family's computer was forensically reconstructed, its browsing history dissected line by line. The clothing the killer left behind was analyzed again and again as technology improved. The stocking cap appeared to have originated in the United States. The jacket bore the label of a French outdoor brand. Some of the websites the killer had visited during his hours inside the home were in Korean. Investigators began to build a theory. A Japanese national who had lived overseas? A foreign national who had spent time in Japan? Someone educated, widely traveled, comfortable with the early internet at a time when that still narrowed the field significantly? Every lead was followed. Every lead went cold. The name they were looking for did not exist in any database they could reach. There was no connection ever established between the killer and the Miyazawa family. No shared history, no known dispute, no debt or grievance or entanglement of any kind. Nothing of significant value was taken from the house. No motive, not revenge, not robbery, not anything investigators could name, was ever identified. which left the case with the most chilling possibility of all, that the Miyazawas were not chosen. That the killer walked through Setagaya on the night of December 30th simply looking for a door, any door, and found theirs. That Mikio and Yasuko and Niina and Rei died not because of anything they had done or anyone they had known, but because of where they happened to live, and when they happened to be home. That possibility has never been ruled out. It has never been confirmed either. It simply sits there, unanswered, the way so much of this case sits. For most of Japan's legal history, the statute of limitations for murder was 15 years. That meant that in December of 2015, the Setagaya killer would have been legally untouchable, not exonerated, not forgiven, simply beyond the reach of the law by the passage of time. The idea was not just painful to the public. It was intolerable. In 2010, the Japanese government abolished the statute of limitations for murder entirely. The change was driven in significant part by the Setagaya case and the national grief it had sustained for a decade. The Setagaya killer can now be charged, tried, and convicted at any point in the future, tomorrow, 10 years from now, at the end of his life, if investigators ever find him. Every year, on the anniversary of the killings, Japanese newspapers run the story again. The police issue renewed appeals. Tips arrive, from across the country, from overseas, and each one is followed and each one returns to the pile, unmarked. The DNA profile sits in a laboratory in Tokyo, perfectly preserved, waiting for a match that has not come in over 20 years. Investigators believe the killer is alive. If he was in his mid-30s in December of 2000, he is in his 60s now. He has had more than 2 decades of life since that night. Years, perhaps a family of his own, a neighborhood, neighbors who walk past him and know nothing. He has watched Japan change around him. He has watched technology change. He may have watched, at some point, as news coverage of his own crime flickered across a screen somewhere. The children who were Niina Miyazawa's age when she died are adults now, with lives and children of their own. The world has moved. The case has not. Somewhere, the man who entered that house on the night of December 30th, 2000 is still breathing. He carries whatever it is a person carries after doing what he did. He knows, or has forced himself to forget, that his DNA is waiting. That his fingerprints are waiting. That an entire country has been waiting for over 2 decades for his name. Mikio, Yasuko, Niina, and Rei Miyazawa cannot wait any longer. They have been waiting long enough.